Yeah. Oh no, it's live again. So back at Baxterley. So we've got some signal. So the signal keeps dropping in and out.
So prepare for lots of ins and outs.
No, it's still going. That's just.
Things like
I
that.
think I've just had a message of some description.
There's molehills here.
Lots of molehills.
So we've got all in.
Most of them are squash.
Yeah, so sometimes you can just go round and you can sort of work out, because they bury them in the sort of the next plot along in the year. This they are just jumbled up. Yeah. So there's so as you can see, there's quite a lot of new ones and old ones all mixed together. You can't really read that one there, but
And
you can this one.
molehills.
And lots of moles.
Yeah.
Lots of moles.
Unless it's just one mole that's making loads.
Oh no, I think there's lots
So
of.
there's one family group.
So this lot here are the Albrighton. So there's Frank and Sarah, Peter, John,
There's rabbits.
John, Mary, Elizabeth, and Annie. They're all from the same
there's
family.
rabbits here because I spotted some rabbit poo. Because I know my rabbit poo.
Okay.
I do.
Have I found the right one? It is Joseph Ball, isn't it?
That's-
No, this
no.
one's Carl Eaton. Where did
I
I
found
find
a
them? No,
rabbit
down there,
hole.
sorry.
That's all right.
Found rabbit hole.
Okay, Emily, just be careful when you walk down here.
And I'm looking for more rabbit spawns.
Do we know he's... I'm assuming this is one big family as well. Or is this a Bacon?
Bacon.
So this is the Bacon family. But everything is properly overgrown.
Yeah, you can't even see anything except from the shape and sometimes a bit of the top of it. That's all you can see. You can't even see it.
Okay, so Joseph Ball. So what do we know about Joseph Ball then, Jackie?
Joseph Ball was the engine wright at the Baxterley pit,
Sorry,
and he was, well, Baxterley pit, and he was killed after volunteering to go down and to try and restart the engine to try and save some of the men down there. And he's buried here at Baxterley, and he's a forebear of one of our members. But Celia Parton did a huge amount of research on the pit disaster, and of course his story is in there along with all the others. And the book is available from
From Parish Chest.
Family History.
Yeah, from Family History Society. So if you want to read more about that book, about Joseph Ball and that disaster, then we do have a book for sale. So
There was several members of some families that were killed in the disaster, including quite a few of the rescuers. And further on we've got some rather distinctive grave markers. And they belong to my cousin's family. And there's a bit of a story behind all this lot.
so these are redheads.
Victoria Redhead married Harry Bates, and he disowned her. She had, one assumes it was postnatal depression, and he dumped her back on her parents, and she eventually died, and they buried her here. John Redhead went off to World War I, a very well educated and fit young man, and was in the early ones that were gassed. His medical record said he was 100% disabled due to the gassing, and the tribunal decided that he must have been poorly before he started in the war. Came home and died shortly afterwards. He is actually acknowledged on the war memorial that's inside the church, but the CWGC, I gather, refused to help maintain the grave because they say he is not war dead.
Right, okay.
So it's a bit of a sad story with that one.
Yeah, and we've noticed when I've been to different places and found Commonwealth war graves, some of them died much later than the war, but they still have a Commonwealth war grave. Is that because of... I mean, I'm assuming it's because they died of their war injuries. but not till later. You
I
know.
presumed that when the tribunal examined their case, they decided that they were put him on a pension because of their injuries,
Yeah,
whereas here they decided that he wasn't.
he wasn't.
And his signature when they discharged him, you would have said it was a very elderly gentleman's who could barely hold a pen.
But he was still quite a young man.
He was still a very young man.
Yeah. So what's that? Yeah, so he's born 1890 and died 1918. So 1919. Is that, yeah, so
Yeah.
yep, so not very old at all.
So they're the ones that said they're in my cousin's tree, but they're quite distinctive polished granite stones, a bit different too.
Yeah,
others.
we found one at Wolvie where it's completely caged in, which was quite
I'm
interesting.
surprised that they kept the metalwork in World War II.
Mm.
Really am, because a lot of them went at that era for war work.
Have a look down here then, Emily.
And then obviously down this end we've got some older stones. We've got the sandstone, but we've also got some lovely old slate ones.
So that's Beresford. So there's a few Beresfords here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the ones at Wolvie, we noticed there's a very you can tell they've been done around the same time because of the wording that's put. Oh, Emily, come back here. Look at this one. Right, okay. So this is quite interesting because it says, in memory of our beloved sister Amy Ann Beresford of Lindley Grange. Now Lindley Grange is on the site at Myra.
Yes, and it would have been Higham on the Hill parish.
Yes. Now, so
She was obviously brought back to the family plot.
yeah, so she died. September 1935, and our dear brother Frederick Beresford, but it doesn't say where he died. But Lindley Grange is actually on the Myra site, and it's a building used for offices now. Has been there quite a long time, which is quite interesting. So these are all Beresfords down here.
William Barrison and Frank.
Yeah. Do you want to have a look at these ones, Emily? Because that one's quite interesting down there.
Yeah, I just need to say something that's not to do with family history, but those down there are very good places for snakes to hide.
I doubt very much there are any snakes down here.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at this one. Go and see what Jack's got to say about that one.
My suspicion would be he was one of the vicars here because he's an MA
Yeah.
and his wife is Charlotte and her name's down the other side.
So Henry Millington. There's,
1861.
so there's some quite interesting shapes, like that one there. So
Yes, the one with the shield on it a bit different,
yeah,
isn't it?
Emily, go and see what.
Age 61.
61. Right, go and see what that one with the shield on. Let's walk down there. Now what's very interesting is this one's got a piece of blue tack stuck to it. Look, I wonder if they've put a card on there or something at some point and it's
Blown
dropped off.
away.
Yeah. Right, so was it William Francis somebody? So that says 1867.
I think it's Twinkled or something.
You think it's it? I think that might be another F.
Twingle.
I don't know. It's quite difficult to read, isn't it?
It is. There's fancy script plus the
Yeah.
icon. It's pretty impossible.
I think it's Twinging Bull.
This is if you've got
Twinging Bull.
Yeah.
and
Twinging
wet
ball.
crayon, you can, because it's incised, you can sometimes rub it and read what it is underneath.
I think it's Twinging Bull.
It's
I think it actually look. See, that's an F,
it's either an F or a T.
and that looks like Knight because it's Night. So that might be William Francis Knight. Died January the 26th, 1867.
Yeah.
And that looks like it says 14 days. has... Yeah, it's a child. This looks like it's a child's grave.
I mean, you can't get a K out of that, whatever you do.
But it is different to the F. Look, there is
something in the middle, but
that's a very odd text. And it is well something the child.
It's a quote from what the
something
4,
Kings 4:26, 2 Kings 26. So this is a child's grave, which I think is quite telling.
You wouldn't even know it's a child's grave until you read that.
No, well it says that says 14 days. So let's see what else we've got around here then, Emily. So it'd be nice to get in the church because in Wolverhampton we noticed that the stained glass windows look absolutely amazing, and I would imagine these are
some nice ones here.
yeah.
1771. Died 1800 at the top.
Yeah.
I think the bottom one was added when they put the stone up.
Which seems to
1800, 1805, and then the earlier ones are added on.
yeah. Which seems to be quite common. We've seen that in quite a few where the name at the top died later than the other names that have been added. So what else have we got then?
We've got a row of Bredons.
Oh yeah. Do we know any Bredons?
This is Mary Breeden and William Breeden.
And that double over there is Bredon as well. I presume it's the same family that died a couple of years ago and who was a Cardinal. I think he was a Bredon.
Right, Emily, come down. That's the Breeden as well, that big one there.
Oh, there's a nice slate one over there that's got...
Let's see if you can see anything on that one.
That is a beauty.
Brown, William Brown, and that. These are all.
Look how they've done the verse on the bottom and it's fixed in. And that was all chiselled out by hand.
So let's have a look at this one, Emily.
It's a lovely stone, isn't it?
So this is this Brown. So that's Elizabeth Brown and John Brown, and then this is William Brown and Francis Brown of Atherstone, not Atherstone, Atherstone. And Anne Brown, daughter of the above, and all very ornate.
There's some older ones
The
down now.
stonemason is I. Gresley of Carlton.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That Carlton. Yeah, where's that?
It's over where Teddy Boston was, over that side, isn't it? Is that Carlton?
Well, in what? I don't know. I have to have a look at that. And then this one, Haddon of Atherstone. Now we saw quite a few Haddon gravestones yesterday at Wolvie. There's Summerfield, who died at Wilmcote.
Yeah, there's another one down there.
It's one of the ones that I took a photograph of yesterday, where the stonemason's writing a verse. He splits the words up at the end, so it's got believeth, Bell dash F either. William Belton.
Does that say August?
Yeah.
August.
Yes, because that's got the long lazy S that a lot of people transcribe as an F when they see it
Yeah.
in other words.
What does that say? I'm not really-
1827, August the 22nd, 1827.
And stonemason on that one's quite clear as Lego. I mean, there were Legos around the area.
And I think there's rabbits that I've been digging because there's loads of holes in the ground.
Rabbits, moles.
And actually, it's pretty stone-free, rich soil, which would expect
Yeah.
it to be rich in an old churchyard like this one.
So is
And
this
a piece
one
of dry stone walling done in sandstone.
right next to the
The style.
It has a good view.
it does have a
You
good
can
view.
just stand here
Yeah,
and you can see just a little bit of a view just there.
it is a good view, isn't it? It's very
Yeah.
nice, isn't it?
You see some willow trees down there.
And the church, you can see the different phases of the church by the types of stone. 'Cause you've got sandstone, and then
Modern invention with a fuel tank.
yeah,
Lords and ladies.
there you are. So then we're into the, well, you say slightly newer, but then you've got random,
It's a lot of these ancient churchyards, particularly where they didn't have gravestones, or the gravestones have withered away, have had burials.
on top of burials, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, grave diggers tell all sorts of stories about digging it an awful lot deeper than what it should have been in order to remains further down.
So when Emily and I were at Hartsill, the stonemason there was telling us how to tell the difference between a hand chiselled
And one done with
and one done
with a laser.
with a laser. And I think this would be, here we are. So here we have this one, which if you look carefully, there are indentations and there are points in there. So this one's been done by hand, where this one here has been done, well, actually, saying that one looks like that might have been done by hand as well. Even with the fancy writing. So yes, that one's been done by hand as well.
The Still Foxes, if it's the same family, were one of the farming families that came to North Warwickshire from Cheshire. I think it's the same family.
So there's got small woods over there in Days, Griffiths.
Smallwood or Smollard?
Oh, is that how they say it then?
Some do, some don't.
I'm just going on the only small wood I know, which is Eddie. He's a member of the society.
I mean, some horrobins call themselves ho-robins.
Oh right. So there's a lot of horrobins in Bedworth.
And then loads of flies.
Slater's as clear today as the day it was cut.
Well, in Lancashire, when we go up to Rosendale and we go up to New Church, to St Nicholas Church in New Church, they have big stones that must be a good 4 or 5 inches, and they've got them all round laid as the paving slabs.
What's this?
All laid as the steps and the paving slabs. That's a bulb of some description, Emily.
And I found some more rabbit poo.
Yeah, that's been dug up by some animal looking for a snack. Yeah, they've got them all down, and when we were on our honeymoon, I made Paul go and look for them, and we found his 3
On
times.
your honeymoon?
Yeah, we found Paul's 3 times great grandma's tombstone, her headstone, on the floor next to the church used as a paving slab, and we were standing on top of it.
When Dad was got me started on family history, we went up to Cheshire. We're at Kingsley, and they had cleared an area of the churchyard to make a car park,
Right.
and the stones were all smashed up in a big heap. I would fast send them, move them to the outside edge and make a wall with them, because it costs families a lot of money to have these stones put up.
Mm.
I mean, some would have paid into a fund through one of the charitable groups, so that they had a gravestone put up.
Well, there was one. Was it? I can't remember now. One of the ones that we've seen. recently, so I keep seeing these stones, that said that he was. It was put up by a group of people where he worked.
Yes.
And the family, and this is what I was trying to explain to Emily yesterday, how she says, why are some of these stones really, why are some of these graves really, like, fancy? I said, well, look at the times, the Victorian times, death was big business.
Yeah, and a fancy box.
It was.
Yeah, and they like to show off their wealth, and so therefore they would pay a lot of money into having a very fancy funeral and a very big headstone.
Even though it did try to fall on it.
Well, the trouble is, when the moles burrow, they bring them with them as a hob
So
day.
it's Hob Day. Now there's a few Hob Days in Coventry.
And that's why all of them are
some at Corley, I think.
Right. This one is completely unreadable.
This was a big plot as well.
Yes, I found another one.
Yeah, well,
You see, some of these that are now illegible, when the original MIs were recorded probably 20, 30 years ago, they may have been legible.
yeah.
It's always worth seeing if there is a list.
So shame we can't go in the church because it actually looks
It is a pretty little church.
really, really nice. But
It has this lovely avenue of pollarded poplars.
it's lovely. It's lovely. So we've got some Smiths, Sales,
I mean, Edney is
Edney.
not a local name, is it?
No.
In fact, the War Memorial at, is it Warvey? I think there's an Edney.
Oh, right, okay.
There's one I've been dabbling with lately. I thought there was an Edney.
Where is there a war memorial
It's
here?
a plaque
Oh,
inside
it's
the church.
in church. Oh, right, okay. So then we've got some. Now this is a name I've not heard of. Bilson. So that says Sarah, the daughter of Robert and Elizabeth Bilson, and then Robert Bilson, and then there are Bilsons here in these graves, and probably that one as well. So that's not a name I've come across.
But they've been in the area a long time because that old sandstone one is also Bilson.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and if you come here, you might see a rabbit or two. Even if you come in the afternoon, they're probably asleep because my rabbits are probably
Robert Bilson
asleep right now.
was 66 in 1850. He was born late 1700s.
Yeah, so these are
It's a local name, isn't
local. Must be very local.
it? And that one's got a beautifully clear stonemason's mark on it.
Kennel, T Kennel of Atherstone.
And it's a double N and double L.
Double N, double L. So again, a really very well done stone. That's like some of these old ones are
And
It's
it
not
almost
rabbit.
looks as though they've left space
for other people.
for some of the family to be added.
And maybe it was just a case that they didn't have the money to have it redone.
Or they were buried elsewhere.
Yeah, like,
Yes.
although, so they
There's
decided,
a gap in the period though between that one and these.
yeah. But this is my dear mother. And see, this is that I don't like very much because the lettering's been put in, pinned into,
Yes, it's lead.
and they come out. And we found,
Yeah, because
you found some yesterday that we were trying to work the letters, weren't you?
yeah, and basically my dad poked an ant's nest and set all the ants off, and we had ants all crawling over us.
You see,
So we had to
this
not
one,
disturb it. but
Yeah.
where they've come out, you can still read it because it's actually chiselled in.
Yeah.
But some were put straight on the surface, and all you've got is the holes.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
so one that we
that-
saw in Wolvie yesterday